Hey guys, how's it going? If you see my last video, I did a battery capacity test. On the EB70, it was getting, on the AC side, it was getting about 649 watt hour out of 716. So that was 90% efficiency. And then on the DC side, I got 629 out of a 716 watt hour. And that's like about 87% efficiency. So I already did the battery test. You want to check out the video from the last time I did it. So today I'm gonna do some more testing on the Bluetti EB70. I'm gonna try to probably plug in my solar setup, some of the stuff on my solar setup. I'm gonna plug into the EB70 here. And then we're gonna do the charging from a battery, like a car battery or any 12 volt. Get the max charging out of it. This EB70 maxed out at 200 watt charging. And with a regular 12 volt, you probably get around 120. So we can try to hit 200 watt max charging. I'll show you how to do that here. But let's go ahead and try to move some stuff off of my solar and onto the EB70. This here goes to my full-size refrigerator. This is my full-size freezer. And actually, no, this is my full-size freezer. And this is my TV and my speaker on the other side of the room, which is the living room. And this is my full-size fridge and freezer here. So let's go ahead and plug it in. I'm gonna unplug this. Actually, let me move my EB70 to the left side, so because I don't think the cable reach. Okay, I got the EB70 moved over to the left side here, so the cable should reach. Remove the, this is the refrigerator. Remove this one over here. This is the freezer. Oh, it says short. Let's see if I can turn it off real quick. I can't tell the light is on. There we go. Oh, it says short again. Let's turn it off real quick. Okay, so it looks like it actually says overload. Full-size fridge was pulling too much. It was hitting 800 watt on it, and it didn't quite surge like I was hoping. So we'll take the full-size fridge out, and we'll just put in just the freezer and the TV that I have here. And let's reset the overload. You just press the button and it resets it, and then turn it back on. There we go. Now it's back on. And let me turn on my TV. My TV's on. It's getting about 180 watt right now. The freezer is plugged in, but it's not cycling yet. The compressor haven't come on yet. When it comes on, I'm guessing it will pull probably another 200-300 more watt. But the freezer is plugged in, it's working, the light is on the freezer, it's just not cycling yet. So we'll let that run, and let's let the battery drain down a little bit, and then I'll show you how to charge the from a car battery or any 12 volt. It's not been running for about a couple hours now. So the batteries is down to about 40%, and it's still going at 187 watt. And so let's go ahead and try to charge it with a car battery. Let's say you have solar and your solar doesn't have enough sunlight for for the day, and you happen to have a car battery like I do. I happen to have an extra car battery laying around in my garage, or you're out somewhere with your car running and you wanted to charge a little faster instead of just running a 12 volt. You can just go straight into your battery and hook it up that way. So let me show you here. So what it is, you get a DC to DC converter. I'll go ahead and list that in the description from Amazon. So what this does, it converts 12 volts into 24 volt at 15 amp. But with the EB70, it only allows 10 amp. So you're maxed out at 10 amp on the EB. So it won't go up to a 15 amp that this is rated anyway. And what it is, this is the input where 12 volt. I just connected a longer wire to it. Then on the 24 volt side, I put an MC4 connected to it. And this is where it plugs into the cable adapter here that comes with the EB70. Let me show you an example. Let's do 12 volt first, and we'll see how much charging it is with 12 volt. And we're going to put this MC4 onto the battery. This is a positive lead. Go ahead and unscrew this. Sorry, I had to put the camera down. Couldn't do it with one hand. I have the positive on this end, negative on this end. Then we'll go ahead and plug the EB70 cable with the MC4 on it. Plug that in there. And on the other end, you have the MC4. And this one here, we'll plug into the positive. Okay, it's plugged in. And let's look at what 12 volt does. So that's 12 volt charging at 10 amp. So the freezer is running right now, and the TV is pulling about 300 watt, and then it's bringing in 80 watt at 12 volt. So with 12 volt, you only get that much charging. And then let's convert to 24 volt with this DC to DC. Now it's changed to the converter. So pretty much almost the same thing. You got the 12 volt, but this time the 12 volt goes into the converter. And then the converter spits out the 24 volt. That is where you plug in that same cable from the EB70. Let's go ahead and do that. It's plugged in. And now you're getting 188 watt input compared to about 90 watt with 12 volt. This is pretty much maxed on it right now. Well, there you go. Now you see that with 24 volt, it pretty much maxed out the charging input on the EB70. With a car battery, if you just use a standard 12 volt, just straight from this to the EB70, you only get about 90 watt input. If you get this and convert it, this pretty much double the input on it, which is great because you wanted to charge pretty much faster or max out the input on it, which charges your battery a whole lot faster. And if your battery's in the car, you can pretty much just start the engine and just have the alternator charge it and then do the same setup as this. I probably wouldn't recommend using a secret adapter, which is 12 volt, because it will probably blow your fuse. That's my guess, because it'll probably pull too much amp on it, on your fuse in the car, and it'll probably blow the fuse in the car. So you want to do it straight from the car battery with your engine running. Just open your hood, plug these in to the converter, and then from the converter to the EB70. That will pretty much max out the charging on it. And another thing is, if you have solar panels, couple solar panels, you don't want to series them, because when you series them, it will go above this 28 volt that's rated at. So you can potentially fry your board, your charging board on that. So it's best to do parallel on the solar and then get the lower voltage, but your wattage will be higher, but it will cap out at 200 anyway. But as long as you keep that voltage low, under 28 volt, because we don't want to go above 28 volt. So you get a converter for this, you want to get 24 because it only goes by 12, 24, 48, 60 or so. You don't want to go above 24 really for the EB70. And if you have like a power station that accepts up to 60 volt, like I have another power station that accepts up to 60 volt. So you probably want to get like a converter that does 12 volt to 48 volt or to 60 volt. And then do the same setup, and that will max the input charging on that. You can get up to 600 watt charging or so on it if your power station accepts something bigger. But with the EB70 here, it will only do 28 volt, and pretty much 24 volt is what they sell for the converter. So that would pretty much max out your charging on it. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. You saw that I did I plugged in my full-size fridge. It will run the full-size fridge. The only thing that it couldn't accept a surge on it when it starts up. It was pulling about 700, I think it was a little over 800 watt, and it overloaded the EB70. But if it does settle down, it runs around 100 watt, 200 watt or so. EB should be able to run that fine, but when it surges, it couldn't do it. So I had to take the fridge off the EB70. It's running the freezer just fine. It's actually running the freezer right now. And the TV, and it's pulling about 280 watt. So the full-size freezer does fine. It's only the fridge, for some reason, it surges a little high. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you have any comment, just comment below, and I'll try to answer any question you have. Thanks.